on the researchability of a statement. So it seems to me that currently there is this new technology emerging, large language models. Now the question is, how does this impact human conversation? And also, more specifically, how does this impact to which degree one now says that something is true or not true? So in other words, I think it becomes harder to make bold statements that maybe are not so true. Of course, it's always marginal. The question obviously is, why is this happening? Because maybe now, but also in the future, it becomes very easy to actually research what actually is behind this. Now, of course, in the past, one could look up Wikipedia articles and maybe also find a few Reddit sources. But then if one needs very specific information, sometimes this information is only found in study books, for example. But now one can kind of talk and communicate with all of the information of the world, maybe simplified put. So if I'm now mid-conversation, then of course it is kind of disrupting to the conversation if I now pull out ChatGPT and ask the question to ChatGPT. And it also kind of hurts the trust of the conversation. But now, in theory at least, everybody after every conversation, given that they can remember, they can just look up whether the person said things that are actually totally wrong. So what could possibly emerge out of this is a higher standard to basically accuracy in human conversation. But then there is also kind of a way to manipulate. So you can basically put in context to ChatGPT and then get out a very specific answer. Of course, now it seems that OpenAI and other companies ideally want to guard themselves against something like this. Because once you then take a screenshot and post this, this was what ChatGPT said, or this is what Gemini said, then this company might have a PR problem. But then, of course, this also then takes, so if they take away this ability to, first of all, provide context and then let the large language model say something, then one also takes out a little bit of usability. Because if I want Harry Potter in the book I'm writing to say something that maybe is not entirely true because it's fiction, in the context of the book, then, well, if I now screenshot this and the Twitter user does not know the context of the book, then magic suddenly is real.